Hello there. Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? Let's see. Shortcake. I think I got my grandbaby. Her footies. Hey, Rob. How are you? You doing okay? Hey, Fresher Water World. How are you? Y'all doing okay? Y'all hear me going through my I got some more stuff in this morning for my grandbaby Christmas stuff. I got her a lot of strawberry shortcake socks and stuff. I know. I ain't gonna buy nothing else though. I like to buy her a lot of socks with characters on it. Hey, Diane. I decided to get on early because she's coming today, and I know she's gonna want to go to the doggy park. I need to be at the grocery store, but we're gonna go to the. I'm just gonna go get her some. Well, I'm gonna wait till she get here so she could tell me what cereal she like, and then we're gonna go to the doggy park and then look at movies for the rest of the night. How is everybody else doing? Hey, Lamar. I wanted to talk about what's going on in Memphis and time for our people to wake up. And as I was sitting here, Diane, did you get your stuff? I just thought about that like a few minutes ago. I was putting my coffee on. I was like, I wonder did Diane get her stuff? If not, I'm gonna have to check the what you call to see where it is. What's going on? I do know it's Chris. People started ordering stuff because they started Black Friday sales supposedly early, but a lot of stuff I had already started getting because I remember when I used to work at Kmart many years ago when I was a teenager. Um, what they would do is have us to mark up all of the stuff 30 days before Black Friday, mark it up real high, and get people used to looking at the prices being real high. And so then when Black Friday come, they take it back down to the regular price. Y'all, that's the trick. Okay, I'm telling y'all, I remember that because I used to hate it because I like being a cashier, and then but they would make us get out and on the floor a few of 30 days before Christmas and start marking up all the prices and stuff. It's crazy putting out stuff with higher prices. So that's why I ain't that messed up at Black Friday. It's just best to buy the stuff. If you're going to Christmas shop, start Christmas shopping in September. Start Christmas shopping in September or in the summertime. Hey, Miss Keita and Angel, the real boss. And it's time to start saving too. Don't spend all your money. I was thinking, I was like, a lot of times people take second jobs and stuff for Christmas, to buy to make sure that their kids and stuff have a big Christmas. And that's cool. But can you imagine how much money you could save if you worked that second job and all that money you made during the Christmas holidays for that second job, you put it in a bank? Better yet, these girls are here getting $12,000-$13,000 in tax money. If you save the tax money for 2 to 3 years, you could go and buy yourself a building, like a house, renovated, get your hair licenses, and have your own shop. And that's like generational, legacies. When you start buying buildings and stuff and leaving them behind for your kids. So Yeah, my poo poo socks. I got her some some assorted Snow White socks, and Snow White is black on the socks. I thought that was so cute. Anyways, you guys, I wanted to talk about, like I said, what's going on in Memphis. I was looking at the news, and I know I haven't had the opportunity to get on here as much as I normally do because y'all know that I'm in school. Um, and I got some more stuff that's I got in my back pocket that I have not said yet, but I'm going to, right? And I'm really excited about the support and stuff, and that, when I've talked to people and the support and stuff that I've been getting. And hey, it just makes me proud. And I start thinking about my dad. And I know, my dad has to be somewhere in the spiritual realm excited. You know, I got my I can't believe I'm getting all emotional. My um okay. Okay, so I have to give myself a few minutes because people always say she get on here crying. I'm a crybaby because I'm spoiled. Okay. Um, my drive is stronger than it has been in almost 3 years. Cause y'all know my dad was like my road dog. He taught me everything. Politics, business, how to negotiate, what to say in certain situations, when to walk away and what the reactions would be at pivotal moments in certain business conversations. And I promise you they work. And so a lot of the things um that we're doing, I sure wish I could have him here. And so I remember at my dad's funeral, when all of the elected officials and stuff was getting up and speaking, coming in, and speaking about him, every one of them said the best strategist in Memphis is being laid to rest. Can you imagine all that knowledge of how to be strategic and to fight? And so I know my dad used to always tell me, you're emotional. Like you fight. But the thing I don't like about it, you be ready to jump into a fight, but you too emotional. And so when my dad's elections and stuff will come up, and each and every time people would run against him, and they'd be ready to like dog him out. Okay. They would want to like dog him out. They thought that they was gonna pull up dirt on him. He didn't have no dirt. Okay. If you talk about he was a ladies' man, he was. Okay. Women love power. Okay. Unfortunately, they do. But he was he was he would not sell out, and he was not crooked, right? And so I remember like one of like his very last election, and they put somebody to, because nobody could beat him, to run against him. And they called themselves going, he the women, he had a women around him, this and that. That's all that they could say. But he never promised any woman anything, nothing like that. And so he was sitting in my office, and I was looking at some stuff that they had put online. And I said, Dad, they saying this and they saying that, and they really trying to get the people riled up about you. I said, what we gonna do? Like, what's, and I remember he crossed his legs like a man would cross their legs, at the knee. He leaned back in that chair. He said, don't worry about it, Gal. I got something in the works. I'm working on something. He was just this cool and calm. And then with my dad's team, that's why I always say it ain't no fairness in war. My dad's team whooped them raggedy. Like the opponent that was running against my dad, he said they whooped him so raggedy because they started thinking they was going to pull up dirt, which he ain't really have none. Because if all people care about, if you ain't stealing or anything like that, it's something he never did. Okay, scam, nothing like that. You don't really have anything. They start trying to talk about your personal life, which, I mean, he was a damn ladies man. What can I say? He was a handsome chocolate man, right? And so my dad whooped him raggedy, and all while he was calm. I never heard him talk about it. I never saw him look fearful. All I saw him do was just lean back and say, yeah, we got something in the works. Don't worry about it. Okay. And I think in strategy, you know what? I would never I don't know if I will run for mayor. And let me just say this. I know a lot of people talk about, hey, but who knows? But I don't think I would talk about Paul Young. Let me say this about Paul Young. The city of Memphis has been messed up for a long time, as far as like different politicians that come to hijack the city of Memphis. They hijack the city, they hijack the voters, they hijack the citizens. And Paul Young, I've been knowing them for a very long time, since maybe around 2011. 2011, yeah, because that's when I started going to their church and stuff. Someone had recommended me to go, actually, to start getting grief counseling when my grandmother passed away, a lady that I worked with at the sheriff's office, who's still my friend to this very day. And she was like, you need to get grief counseling. I think you should get grief counseling, because I was devastated when my grandmother passed. And so I did. And his mom and his dad, hey, welcomed me right in, started counseling me. Um, I started seeing how things were at the church, and I joined. And because prior to that, I had was trying to get some counseling, and the people that I was going to was trying to put me on medicine. I was like, that's how they made their money. They had like some type of contract with the pharmaceutical companies, whereas they was trying to push, like if people were coming in grieving, instead of just counseling them, they would say, oh, well, you grieving, so you need to meds. I said, you a damn lie. I ain't getting on no meds. Hell, my heart just broken. And so my friend recommended me to them, and it was awesome. Okay. Um, through them I met his brother David, who is now the pastor, since his dad has passed away. His dad passed away a few months before my dad passed away. And just recently, David had reached out to me and was like, Tam, why don't you come back to church? Why don't you come back? And he was like, just come and visit, and just slowly just start coming back. And so, that's what I started doing. But anyways, what I saw when I was at that church was how even then, because like Paul and his sister and them, they were always like administrators for like the county or the city or whatever. And so they always showed people how to get government jobs. Okay. They would always have people there that would be taken, and people didn't know that. It was like the best kept secret. Like, they would show them how to get the jobs and stuff, like help people to get jobs and connect them with the right people and stuff. And so I know a lot of times, like when things are messed up, when the person comes in, like people want expect for Paul got so many knives in his back. And see, I know folks want me to get on here. Thank you, Georgette. People want me to get on here to, I don't go along with the crowd. That's something I don't do. Hey, I know when to be quiet and not have an opinion. And hey, and I know, but I don't let people influence me, right? And so, I think instead of going along to get along, it's time to be honest about what's going on. Like, it's so many people that want, because every person that comes in is going to bring in their own administration. Jim Strickland did such a sucky job, but he was a white man. Let's be real, and I'm not racist, okay? He was white. And for some reason, black people, for some odd reason, feel subservient to white people. Okay? It's like a generational curse. Okay, he get in there, he did it. He didn't do nothing, but you're white man's this ain't gonna do nothing for us. But then you get mad at Paul, okay, because he has to get in there and try and fix things, and sometimes you have to slowly do it. It's a lot of money and power in Memphis. There are ways that you have to do stuff, okay? Um I don't think that it was a mistake that whoever that was that got over his fence, got in his yard. I believe somebody, because he's trying to slowly, because you have to do that, fix things to try and help the black community. Um, I don't think that it was a, um, I don't think that it was a mistake, or what's the word that I'm looking for? Coincidence. That, remember the young man who they're saying is mentally ill jumped over his wall with a knife at his home and was going to try to go into his home and take out his family. Remember when Obama started trying to slowly do things for black people? Remember that person, where the Secret Service is supposed to always be around him, that person got into that crazy person was able to get up on him in the White House lawn or in the elevator or something. Okay. I think when the powers that be start trying recognizing that people, black people in power, slowly trying to do things, because you cannot just you hey, when you're in positions like that and you're dealing with a lot of power, there you have to be strategic. Okay, like my dad was in a position where he fought. They already knew it. Okay, he didn't have to slowly do anything. He just fought, but that was different because he was in a position, another position. Okay, black people, and some white people too. I got to be honest, but mostly black people put my dad in his position because he was unbought and unbossed. Okay, but with Paul, because Memphis is, he's a black mayor, but he has to be for everybody. But we see what they've done to the city of Memphis, where the black people, and you got more black people in office, okay, have sold out. Do I believe that Paul has sold out when they say that he has? Absolutely not. And I'm not saying that because I like him. I'm saying it because I see what's going on. No, I think Paul is slowly trying to fix some things, but he got so many cuckabug heads that have sold out that look like him. That said, Massa, if you put me in a position, I'll make the black people think that I'm for them all the time. We still screwing them royally. Okay, I'll give them a song and a dance, and I'll continue on everything. Okay, that's been going on. So you see a lot of leaders mad. It's so sad. It hurts me to see how many people that look like us has sold out, why aren't they coming together with Paul? Now y'all will see them on the news behind him so that their faces can be shown, grinning as if they're for him all the time. A lot of them have their knives out, doing their best to try to make him look bad. I'm not going to do it because I know he is not a sellout. He is not. I think that man has great hope for this city and he wants to do that. Okay. And he needs the support of the people. He needs for the people to really see what's going on. These damn cuckabug kids that's got their knives out because they sell out. Okay. They sell out. Ought to be ashamed of themselves. Okay. And so I think as Black people, we got to stop being so emotional. Okay, we do. We'll let people of other communities come to our community. And hey, I'm not saying that sometimes, hey, it's all about the character of the person because a white person can get in there. We can get, I'm talking about in certain key positions, and you'll get more because it's about the character of the person, right? Because I think now what is going on, people are starting to see if you could put a Black face in the place. As my dad used to always say, a sellout Black person can do way more damage than any racist white person. That's why my dad used to always say, it's not the white people that I worry about that's racist, because all white people are not bad. It's the sellout Negro, Uncle Sam, Aunt Jane that bothers me, that scares me, because they can set us back 50 years. Okay? They can, because they can have them they can do things through them that we could be filing all types of civil rights lawsuits on a white person for doing. But they could put a Black person, a Black face in the place and work through them and set us back 50 years. And I think it's so sad because Memphis has so much crime. You see all the crime, and you could get hardly any of it except for the mayor. He was addressing it. But here's the thing about it. All Paul Young can do is hire more police officers. It has to start within. So, you have all of these programs and stuff that's out there. Why, people are wanting to get money for them. And over half of them ain't doing what they're supposed to do with it. Okay. You have programs that's really for the community, and you cannot get the city council or some of the county commissioners oftentimes to fund them because all of the money is set aside that they give to nonprofit organizations for their family and friends oftentimes so that they can get a kickback. Okay. And you got people that's really out here boots on the ground that really want to implement some things because it has to start within. You could put police officers out there all day, and that's basically all that he can do. But what about it has to start within the homes? And that's what people are not talking about. They don't want to talk about. People don't want to take responsibility anymore for bad parenting. Okay. Well, you being judgmental, there's a lot of damn bad parenting going on. And there has to be a way, because it's almost like a generational curse. And so I'm not mad at the people for the bad parenting, because I know oftentimes it's a generational curse. So now we got to start looking at really implementing and being proactive and putting programs into place to not just help the children, but help the parents. What good is it if you put a child in a program and you help this child, and then they got to go right back to their toxicity at home? We ain't being proactive no more, right? And so those are the types of things that I think about all the time that bothers me, because I do love children. I do love elderly people, but I've always had such a soft heart. That's why when I see kids and they're out there selling those water bottles, I get to thinking about, God, those kids be out there all day selling water bottles. They probably should be in school, but they out there selling water bottles, and somebody said, well, they be stealing them. I don't give a damn. They be out there selling them in the heat and all. Can you imagine if somebody, if the right program that's really proactive helped, went out there and talked to those kids and say, because if you stand out there and run to cars all day and walk all day, that's work. If somebody was really to show them, okay, listen, you need to go back to school, and we're gonna put you on a program, um, some type of technical program. Because hey, if you're gonna walk and stand out in the heat all day, you ain't scared of working. You just don't know how to make money any other way. And that's how it has been with our community. They always want us to be consumers and to be on welfare and food stamps. They want us to start panicking when we don't get that welfare and food stamps. They keep us panicking to keep our minds on getting a handout rather than how, okay, to start businesses, to get the monies and stuff from the bank to fund the businesses. Hey, you start giving the grants out. The scary thing about it is, look at how many people get indicted. Okay, I'd be scared to write grants for people because I don't want to be in court, even though it ain't on me. I don't want to have to deal with if people got IDs and stuff and other people's names and I don't really know them. If I don't know them, I don't know them. I don't want to have to be in federal court testifying. Well, they told me their name was Kim Jones and I saw the ID, but did you see the social security card? Well, I just don't want to have to go through that. Okay. But instead of genuinely, if you can spend all that time thinking of ways to scam, you could really, if you put all that energy into doing something legit, you can be a billionaire. Okay. But they keep us in fear. And hey, I believe that children, because it's not their fault, they should eat well. Hey, if their mothers and stuff need SNAP benefits, give them those SNAP benefits because they need them. I always felt like the seniors should be taken care of. Okay. But we need programs and stuff in place to let young ladies know this is a hand up. It's not a way of life, right? We don't want to be on Section 8 and feeling like, okay, well, my youngest child now is 17. What am I going to do? I need to have another child so that I can get Section 8 for 17, 18 more years. We don't want, but those are the mindsets that they want us to have. And we're supposed to have leaders and stuff in our community. And as soon as we start to make them popular, the powers that be see that, and then they seek them out, and then they start giving them things, money, and all of that, and they sell out. Like I said, there are no repercussions for selling out in our community, and that's a darn shame. Okay. Hey, Miss Rita, there has to be some repercussions, right? And so, that we're in the culture of, they want for us to be baby mamas. I'm not judgmental. I was a baby mama twice. Never been married. And I would have struggled because I was broke. I would have struggled if I didn't have my mama, and I was just blessed. I chose wrong. I was not ready. Well, I'm talking about financially, but I was blessed to have a good support system where I did not struggle, right? But they teach, um but shout out to my kids' fathers, okay? Because I know they be listening. I ain't talking about them, okay? But I did choose wrong, and they might feel the same way because I was hell, okay? But but what was I getting ready to say? But they teach, being a baby mama in our culture. They don't promote the family structure anymore. They don't promote the family structure. They don't promote abstinence or um, using protection or um, telling young ladies to wait until you can get you a good husband, right? And you all are ready to get married. They promote that in every community except for the Black community. They promote being a strong Black woman. And hey, I think it's a good thing to be a strong Black woman, okay? But it ain't nothing wrong with a strong Black woman having a strong Black husband. That's what they don't promote. You have to be strong to survive. That's good. But they don't promote having a strong Black husband. They don't promote the family structure, the family unit in the Black community because they want for everything to be off of balance, right? Out of order, off of balance. Hey, a lot of people might feel differently. I believe that the man that have the characteristics of what it takes is the head of the household, right? He's the provider, he's the protector. I ain't got no problem with the man being the head that have the qualities to be the head. Because I mean, I'll take being the neck, okay? Because I know the head don't move without the neck, so I'll fall right in line, okay? But they don't promote that, okay, in our community because they want for us to stay off balance. They know that we're stronger in units and in numbers, but definitely in with the family unit, with they want to get up on Black women. They know a strong man in the house. You ain't gonna hardly be able to get over on that Black woman like that because she's got to talk to her husband, who being a man is going to know when somebody is trying to play his wife. As a matter of fact, you ain't gonna hardly get a chance to play his wife and his kids, right? Or when because men are more logical thinkers and we feel things. We can feel when things, God made us to feel when things are off of balance. So with men being more logical, you can tell when your husband is getting ready to walk into a trap. So where he's thinking it's a logical thing, you could say, baby, wait a minute, baby. I feel like something is wrong. You need to you need to look at that twice. I know it seems like the logical thing to do, but it's something ain't right about that. God has put, I think you need to double check that, right? We're stronger together. And so what they've done is they have really fixed it where men and women just don't trust each other. It's not that it's bad men out there. It's just that there are a lot of hurt men out there that's really just scared to love. Because if they love again and they look like a fool, they subject to take them everything out. Okay. A lot of men don't know how to handle things emotionally. They do physically. They don't know how to emotionally handle things like women do. That's why God made us like that. That's the reason why we are supposed to be one, because one is stronger in areas where the other one is stronger in areas emotionally, right? And so I think, and now I'm saying this, but getting to something else. I think of the reason a lot of men, when they start feeling like they're supposed to emotionally beat a woman down, or just beat her down to the point where all of those senses that God gave us to be able to contribute to our family, to our men, that's when God started taking them down. Okay, you just you know a lot of these men don't understand that treating their women right, their blessings are tied up in that. Okay, they make the wrong decisions and they decide that they want to mistreat everybody's daughter. Okay, that's not how it's supposed to be, and vice versa. I never thought being a woman, because I'm a woman, and I never thought being a woman that I would ever see women become so hard, emotionless. They don't care about no man, and they don't care about their children. The only thing they care about is the mighty dollar. And they'll do anything to put their kids in the bed with somebody to get it, to include taking somebody's life or setting somebody up to get it. A lot of reasons why a lot of these men are able to be set up and stuff now is because they use women to help do it. As a woman, I can't understand it. as a woman, I can't even start to fathom how I could ever sit with people to set up somebody to rob them or to take them out. You gotta be like some type of black-hearted. I wouldn't say animal because animal has feelings. Um, you got to be some type of wall because we started talking about animals. Animals have feelings. You gotta be some type of brick wall with no type of emotions or feelings, right? You couldn't be human. You couldn't be. And so that's why I say it's time for our people to wake up because as much as we want to say, well, the white man is doing this, the white man is not making us do half of the things that we do to each other. It's just time for a change in our community. God blessed us with everything, with the rhythm. We dance to the rhythm of the beat. We got rhythm, we got soul, we know how to sing, we know how to rap. We could use our hands, we're crafty, we know how to braid. He gave us everything for us to be able to live life and live life abundantly. And we relinquish all of our power. And then we go into the mindset, they could give me this, they could give me that. No, God gave it to you. What you need to do and what leaders that we put into place to be able to help to guide our community, because everybody needs some type of help, right? What they supposed to be doing is showing us how to maximize as far as monetary. What's up, Cypress? Those gifts that God has already given us, right? But unfortunately, I don't know who I was talking to about this. Maybe yesterday or something like this. Unfortunately, people feel like it's about me and mine, and I don't give a damn about nobody. I'm probably on Vanisa's show with her cousin last night with Mookie. We was talking about that. Folks feel like it's just about me and mine, and I don't give a damn about nobody else. And that's the reasons why people are not getting anywhere, because they feel like they love things. Things are so backwards now. People put a lot of love in things like money and jewelry and clothes, okay? And they don't give a damn about people. And I know they say people hurt us. Yes, they do. They hurt us. They do. But they're hurt people too. And so that's why I say, as a whole, we got to do better. I can't just say, well, for me and Cypress and Rita and Tequila and for Ken and all of us, okay, well, we're going to start loving people. It's hard to do that if we love and then, everybody else, the other half don't love, okay? You get drained like that. It's time for our people to start loving each other. And that's when we will start to see the abundance that we should have in our community. There's bad in everybody. Okay. We see folks got bad in them and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. There has to be repercussions. And those repercussions are, if you're a politician, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. Not what you, because see, people tend to get mad when they have agendas and you don't do one thing. You could be good as you can be and you don't do one thing and they get mad at you. Not that. Because still you're making it only about you. Right? He says a lot of women are selling themselves for $40 and Tulu cigarettes a damn shit. That's true. And I think it has a lot to do with Ken, them being on some type of drug. Listen, when I was working for MPD, and one thing that I did learn when I was working over there, I was working in the investigative unit when I first started working there as a transcriptionist. I was pregnant, okay? And with my second baby. And when they would have to, before they took the women to jail, they would have to bring them up to felony response if it was a felony. You heard all those prostitutes and stuff that came up there, they were on drugs. So they was being controlled by some type of narcotic. And this is how I know this, because they all said the same thing. They had to get high to prostitute. When they knew they had to go out there and make money, they really had to get high because it grossed them out. It was never meant for women to take a lot of men, to be having sex with a whole lot of men. That's just not, to even thinking about that is gross, right? But those women had to get high because it made them sick to the stomach to listen to those men that they had no connection with moaning in their ears, and that didn't want them. The only thing I required, I don't need them kissing on me, don't lick me, just do what you got to do and go on. It's because they was controlled by some type of narcotic, not because they're sluts. It's because of something that has happened to them in the past and they ended up getting on drugs. You don't ever know what. That's why I always say, you don't ever know what these little girls and these women, little girls turn into grown women and they still have the same issues. That's the reason I get mad at these men when they see some of these women and they see that they are in dire need. That's the reason why God whoops their ass cat raggedy a lot of times. If you got money to give somebody for sex and you know them, you might as well just give it to her and help her. Why make her degrade herself if you know this person? Yeah, she need her rent paid. I'm gonna see if I can get her to do some sexual favors. Bitch, that's why God whooping your ass cat raggedy. If you got money to throw away like that, just give it to her and help her without making her degrade herself like that because she is in survival mode. That's why these bitches getting whooped cat raggedy. Y'all know how I get. So I've seen women and little girls that have walked into the police department. They can't put that stuff on TV. What they have, their mamas and stuff have put them in bed with their boyfriends. Mama had to go to work and she would put me in bed with her boyfriend because she needed rent paid. So if her mama at 13 years old was putting her in bed with her boyfriend, what you think he was doing to her? Mama need to be whooped with an ugly stick and the boyfriend do too. So these turn into grown women with issues. They start doing drugs to cope with what they've had to go through. It turns into anger. I was a child. Why they have to do that to me? I kid you not. It's a lady that I used to work with at the police department, and she turned into a prophetess, and she's a minister. Me and her used to talk all the time. That lady, I had to stop talking to her because when I would talk to her, my head would start hurting. That's why I know spirits transfer. Even though she said she was healed, she never got no help. And every time she would talk about what happened to her as a little girl and she'd be preaching, she would start to cry. And so that's why I know she needed some help. And so she said, she was talking to me one day. She said, I was 5 years old. I'll never forget. Her mama made her go live with her daddy because she couldn't take care of her. And her daddy would work, and she said her daddy would tell her before, when she got out of school, sit outside on his friend's porch until he got home, because he'd get off like an hour or so later. And this lady way over in her 60s. And she said, I used to cringe when one of the guys in the house would tell her, come in the house. She said, I already knew when they was telling me, come on in, come in. She said, I would be holding on to the rail of the porch and I hated to go in. But as a child, they told kids, you have to do everything that adults tell you to do. She was scared to even tell her daddy. And my stomach got weak one day. She was talking to me and she said, and I remember that one of the men in the house, because it was a lot of men, it was her dad's friend that lived in the house. and he took his penis out and he told me to put it in my mouth. And I remember he had his penis had it was discolored. And I said, "What's that on your penis?" I said, "Oh my God, I know she ain't delivered because it hurt me to hear her say that." A 5-year-old remembering that a man's penis is discolored and he making her put it in her mouth. Yes, she had issues. She went through issues where she was promiscuous out there because, and even started drinking at one time, had been an alcoholic because she couldn't deal with that. A lot of these women ain't sluts. They just got issues from trauma. Men that's supposed to be protecting kids got them putting their penis in their mouth. Okay? So when folks get to talking about, yes, I know people are a product of their environment. When she out there, she a hoe. That's all she know. A lot of times, that's all they know, and they get on some type of narcotic to have to, so they don't have to deal with why wasn't I loved? Why did my mama let this happen? Why my daddy do this to me? Why my brother do this to me? And the same thing with men. A lot of men start getting on it if they are molested because they mad because their sexuality is messed up. Okay? They don't know how to deal with it. So I don't think that we're getting to the root of the problem when we start judging people. Okay? Now I get mad when people be calling me a hoe because 7 men don't make me no hoe. 7.5. Okay? Because Mr. Parker was a half of a motherfucking man. Okay, so if I get on here and because I ain't ashamed of what I do, it's women on here that have more dicks in their mouth than I done had in my damn coochie. Mr. Parker was half of a motherfucking man, so it's 7.5. Okay, so I ain't ashamed of nothing I do, but there are people, because I've never been molested, I ain't never been hurt, but there are people that have gone through a lot, and we sit up and judge them. Okay. Especially when women, because the society has made it where folks always want they want to beat up on women so much. You got women that are male identified. They even want to hurt other women. They even have that energy. I want to defame her. I want to bring her down. I want to do this. And it's because they are hurt people. Okay? And so that's why I say that it's time for our community to wake up. We got leaders that ain't doing a damn thing. Our community has been in a state of emergency. Okay? It's been in a state of emergency. Okay? Our people hurting. Our people suffering. And as a result, Paige C. Clean said, "It's a great morning," and I'm not. That's right. Don't allow nobody to dim your light or make you feel shame about whatever you've had to go through. Okay? I used to have people in one side of my family, okay, because they're all married. Damn, the marriage ain't worth the damn. The husbands ain't neither. But they're all married. And so I love you too, Paige T. Clean. And so they used to they want to make women make girls like me feel bad about having children and not being married. And sometimes I'd be looking at their husbands and stuff and how they was treated, and I knew I was better off. Okay, I knew I was better off, but it's sad. Like, people always want to try to make somebody else feel a certain way. That's why, I say people misjudge me all the time. I get on how to talk about but that's a jealousy though, because when I'm talking about stuff, well, I stopped at the Dollar Tree. I call myself, as women, I know we all about cleaning supplies and shit. We all about washing powder. I stopped at I was at the Walmart, y'all. I got some washing powder. It was on sale. I saw my grandma and them doing that. That's not being braggadocious. And if you got that type of mindset, that means that you're a hurt person. My grandma and them used to do that. Call her sisters, when we was living in the projects, tell the other women, such and such got washing powder on sale. We had the bargain center. We had the I don't know if we had the Family Dollar back then. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sorry, my head stopped up. Hey, John Brown. He says, "Good morning, Miss Tamara. Just finished watching the new video upload by Justice for Dolph about Juke's murder. No, I haven't seen it. He must just uploaded. I've been on here for almost an hour, so I'm gonna look at it when I get off, though. I'm gonna look at it. Oh, I'm definitely gonna look at it. Shout out to Justice for Dolph. And so I'm gonna look at it I'm gonna look at it in a minute. But we got to do better, okay? And reason I have such an I love kids so freaking much. I do, because they're so innocent. I just take everybody kids as being my own kids. Okay, okay, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna make sure I do. I wanted to show you all this. Y'all forgive me when I get vulgar, but y'all know okay. Forgive me.
A Memphis man is accused of trying to kidnap a child and harassing people in the U of M area. 25-year-old Dominique Hawkins is charged with attempted kidnapping. Police say he was at the Wood Trail Apartments on Spotswood and grabbed an 8-year-old girl, pulling her into a breezeway. The child screamed and ran away. Hawkins is also accused of following a woman to an apartment on Southern Avenue and knocking on her door and looking through her window. He was arrested by U of M police for criminal trespass and then identified in other alleged crimes.
Okay, now see, that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. And watch this, okay? Watch this. Hold on.
A Memphis man is accused of kidnapping. Police say he
Now, see, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about right here. Now, now I'm getting ready to see how much his bond is. Now, he done tried to, obviously he got a sickness, and this ain't something that he just started doing. Hold on. And he gonna be right back out. Yeah, what was his name? Dominic Whitlock? Oh no, it wasn't Whitlock. My mind somewhere else. Dominic, what is it? Dominic Hawkins. He's still in jail. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they gave him a $250,000 bond. Now it's $205,500. He was born in 2000. That would make him 25 years old. Yeah, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. What makes a man, what has happened to him in his short life? Because he only 25. That would make him want to go and do something. Want to snatch up an 8-year-old girl. And then try to break in, was a peeping Tom trying to get into another woman's house. So you know he's been committing sexual crimes. Hold on, y'all know I'm looking at something else. I'm trying to see something. Y'all hold on. I just want to see one thing. That's it. His name's spelled is Dominique Hawkins. Dominique. Dominique. See, he had a state warrant for vandalism earlier. But hold on, did they recall? But let's check something else out. I'm trying to see something. Born in 2000. What area code is the 38111 area code? Is it? Because he needs. Hold on. What area is 38111? It's parts of East Memphis. It's parts of East Memphis. Does anybody know what area code is the 38111? Like, what area is that? I'm trying to see what this joker. Okay. Cause see, I know it's some Memphis people in here. Help me out, hell. Anybody said something? Ain't nobody said nothing. What area is 38111? It's not showing me. Okay, so it's around Sherwood, White Station, Colonial, Middle, Snowden. Central, Melrose. How all them? I don't believe that. All those areas are 38111 because it seemed like to me it's running from Midtown to Orange Mound. That don't seem right. That don't even seem right because Midtown and Orange Mound, does Midtown and Orange Mound intersect? I didn't think that it did. Maybe it does. Does Midtown and Orange Mound intersect in some kind of way? South Park Elementary. I know that ain't right. South Park Elementary will be way what on the other side of South Memphis? Hey, Nene Lloyd. He said Overton Park, University of Memphis area Highland. Okay, so I know. Okay, so yeah. So, but why is it saying so Highland intersects with Orange Mound, doesn't it? I'm trying to figure out how all these something. Okay. So I'm trying to, but where is South Park Elementary? Because I would think that South Park Elementary is back on like the other side of South Memphis, like where Macmillan is. I know that couldn't be right. But then it's saying White Station. Park and Sims Melrose. So Sherwood area. Okay. South Park is on Getwell Elementary School. Because it's in a lot of areas that 38111. Melrose, White Station. I don't know, y'all, because I'm over some part. Okay. All right. Because I'm thinking about White Station. So it's the Overton Park area. Okay. That's where he live at. That's what I'm saying. Y'all know. See, what they gonna have to start doing, because now I don't know if he's on the register. He ought to be. So let's see. I mean, he's trying to snatch 8-year-old little girls. Criminal trespass. I'm trying to see what his history is. See, he mostly has a history of vandalism. That's what's showing in the system. Hold on. It seemed like his arrest just started happening in 2025. Like he does not have a history. Like he got a long history, but it started in 2025. So I tell you, yeah, this is the stuff right here. Like we have to protect our kids. People don't. A man don't just wake up one day and decide that he wants to try to snatch an 8-year-old girl. Okay, they're not talking about how the National Guard, since they've been in Memphis, have found over 100 and something missing children. They ain't talking about that because they keep us in the dark because it affects the Black community. They don't want for people to know that how our kids are being snatched up. They don't even really talk about it. They're not going to talk about no Black kids being missing. They would rather label them as runaways. And I don't like it. Yes, and that's, you know what, Ken, I'm glad you said that, because the Whitehaven Walmart, I mean, not the Whitehaven Walmart, but the South Haven Walmart. It's so many kids that uh they started locking. One of the reasons they started locking the back door, not because of theft, like back there about where the flowers and stuff be at. It's because of attempted abductions. They got so many pedos in South Haven and stuff where they was going and hanging around the Walmart. They was getting at least one abduction attempt a month. But they try to keep us in the dark about certain stuff, because if they really talk about it and put it out there, people are going to demand that something is done. Then people will start coming together and demanding that the laws are more stringent for pedos. And they don't want that. You know why? Because you got a lot of pedos that get into office to make sure they make the laws less stringent. Okay. I'm talking about like in Congress, the lawmakers and the senators and stuff. So South Park is across from the McDonald's on Getwell. So so you know what? So then that's kind of close to the Orange Mound area, Keita. Because if you think, I'm thinking about that now. So that's kind of close to the Orange Mound area, because if you go down Park and then you turn on, it's not Highland. I believe if you go down Getwell, you turn on Park. Would that be Park? Yeah, because it takes you all the way down to Lamar. If I'm wrong, help me out. But okay. So I don't know. I don't think that's considered the Orange Mound area, but it's not too far from Orange Mound. Okay, so I didn't know that Orange Mound kind of sits right there in the midst of, intersects with so many. It intersects with so many. Okay, I see now. Um. Oh wow. I think that it should be mandatory. Like, I think that all of these, I mean, it is on the register, but I think that it should also, all of the schools should make sure, if they don't, they should have a copy of the register, the sexual register, along with pictures of the people. And folks get on my nerves so bad. They say, "What about their privacy?" What you talking? You ain't got no privacy when you have to, you trying to do something to kids. You can't be trusted. So all the schools should have the register along with the pictures of the people, to ensure that they are not lingering and hanging around schools. Anyways, when I saw that made me so mad. Oh, look at him. Oh, he looked. Oh, Lord have mercy. He looked like. Oh. But you know what's so sad about it? I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm getting ready to make some people mad this morning. Now, they say that the worst thing that a person can do is be a snitch. What he did is the worst thing that a person can do. But the so-called gang members and thugs will stand at the corner and smoke weed with him and go on drills with him. Okay. But that's the worst thing that a person can do. I don't play about that. It's just time for there to be some order in Memphis, especially it starts with the children. It starts with our children, and it starts with making sure that the educators Big G. I wasn't gonna even say nothing. I was trying to figure, oh Lord, 25 years old. He already got a hole in the top of his head. Lord Jesus. I'm trying to figure out how that happened. I thought you had to get old to get that windshield up there. Oh, mm, mm, mm. He done got it early. He just need to cut off his hair. That's what he need. He need to cut it all off. But I mean, he's sick though. He need to be distinguished so people can pay attention to him. So people can pay attention to him. But I mean, it's just so many things done backwards. Like I'm trying to understand, like teachers spend just as much time with the kids as the parents do. They ain't, I think teachers should be paid more. I mean, it all starts with the teacher. I don't, me personally, and I've always felt like this. No teacher. First of all, you don't drop the criteria for a teacher, but a teacher that's got all of their criteria, their certifications and stuff, they shouldn't be making less than $80,000, if you ask me, because they have to. Teachers go through so much, and everything really starts with them. They have to deal with the kids and the mothers, and the parents, and all parents. Some of them parents can be hell. So, and we need our vocation, our votex and stuff back. They took our votex away because so many black men, especially black men, because that our black men really got a target on their back because people fear them and their greatness. Um, they took that. I remember when I was in junior high, I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. We would be in shop like all like my I had so much wood with my name carved on it. I used to love that shop class. That man taught us how to carve, make like remember they used to have those key rings made with like wood out of wood. What we used to get out the mall, and it would have our names and stuff on it. We made that stuff in shop. I had so much wood with my name and my mama name and stuff carved all in it because that's what we did. I learned I learned how to cook through my mama and grandmama, but like we took home ec and they taught us etiquette. And what I really enjoyed in home ec was we used to sew pillows. She taught us how to sew and make pillowcases and all of that. Girls were getting out, starting decorative businesses, making their own designs, and they knew how to sew, they knew how to do seams and all of that. Black women got out and black men, the boys would be, most of the boys would be over in auto mechanic. It's just not meant for everybody to go to college. Everybody don't want to go to college, and it's not for them. So they get out and they get right into their crafts. They were becoming auto mechanics and starting their own businesses. They couldn't have that. So we had a bunch of cuckabug heads that got into office and helped to cut the stuff out. They don't want for black people to have another Black Wall Street. They want to promote, and I'm go to college because I'm back in college now, but I'm back in college because I like law. I'm getting my law degree. I like being an investigator, and I'm gonna be an investigator and know the damn law. Okay. And I'm gonna get my law licenses. So, but I gotta go to school for that. But you got other people that know how to do the trade is where it is. I'm telling you. The trade is where it is. I mean, plumbing, air conditioning, and heating. They don't want that. And we just allow them to handicap our kids. My daughter, I think they still got cosmetology, but they said that's so watered down. They don't teach you how to do hair anymore in cosmetology. My daughter took cosmetology. She said that she took cosmetology 1 and 2. The only thing they taught her how to do was wash hair, and all they did was read. That's it. So they don't even teach you how to do hair no more. So um, I ain't gonna say nothing about that because I almost said something, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna hold my tongue. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think the most after these kids graduate, if they love trade technical stuff, trade school, the most that they should do, and they used to teach business in school, high school. I think they took that away. If they go to take a semester in college to learn how to do business, so that they can right before they start, they open up their own business. That's it. If that's what they want. Now, if you're going to be a doctor, a nurse, or something like that, you already know you got to take your ass to college. It ain't no technical schools for that, unless it's the CNA, and CNAs. I feel like they ain't getting paid enough either, because CNAs do they do quite a bit of work now. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna have to. I know I'm gonna have to send this dress back because it's gonna be too short. I like short dresses, but this one right here gonna be too short. I need. I'm gonna take it back. That's something me and my grandbaby will do today. Take this dress back because I need to wear it to a fundraiser. I thought it would be longer than this. This dress. Anyway, y'all. Let me try it on. It says the school wasn't making any money when the schools was teaching how to do hair. That's so true. That's what it was. I bet you right, Ken. That's exactly what it was. I bet that's what it was. I never thought about that. That's why they stopped really teaching cosmetology, to make sure the girls get out. And because these girls make a lot of money doing hair over the stove, and it was about hair care. I bought me a pressing comb the other day. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I bought me a pressing comb the other day because my mama used to press my hair, and we be putting those flat irons and stuff in our hair, and it thins your hair out. I bought me a pressing comb the other day, and the little piece I got out, because I got my weave in, and I put my good stuff on it. If y'all ladies, let me tell y'all something. I don't even like, because a lot of these cosmetology girls now, they're not about hair care. They don't use good products. They go right into Walmart and get some cheap stuff. I get so much. You could go into like Marshalls, and I know y'all know, in places like that, I get all type of stuff to treat my hair. I treats my own hair. I treat my hair. I wash it. I put that good conditioner and shampoo and stuff on it, and I sit up under the dryer with my deep conditioners. I don't even really be wanting them to put that cheap stuff all up on my head, because they don't want to put money back into their clients and stuff, but they want to charge all their money. Okay. But them girls that when they was learning about hair care, okay, they was learning about hair care. They was standing over the stove doing hair, and a lot of the best stylists work over the stove. Okay, but now what they need to do is start getting into the business part of it, and they can really expand their brand. Okay, and they can really expand if they go to a shop. Because see, I ain't going up in nobody's house. I'd be scared I ain't gonna come out. I'm paranoid about going in people's houses. I told y'all that. So it'd be a lot of girls, like I be saying, like, who did your hair? Such and such. Little Roro did my hair. Where she work at? She work at home. I can't go up in there because I'm paranoid about going in people's houses. Okay, because you don't ever know what kind of booby traps they got set. That's how my mind worked, child. They taught us that in the academy, child. And I've been scared ever since. Y'all remember what happened over there? Was it on Shannon Street? Them officers went up in that house. Was it Shannon Street? Um, Ken says, and that's one of the films that they show us. They showed us at the academy. So when you see police officers go into houses, it's never gonna be one. It's never gonna be one to go into a house. They teach sew-ins. I didn't even think that they was teaching sew-ins. He said her and her sisters would do each other hair and eat it and drink. Was that the cosmetology teacher? Oh, I thought you said the cosmetology teacher would do hair and drink wine. I was gonna say at the school. Oh, you say your mother. I remember my mom having that hot comb and the eye on the eye on the stove. Her and us, yeah. I bought me a hot comb and I pressed instead of putting that flat iron on my hair, I put some good spray and oil on my hair. And I put that I pressed my hair and I promise you it's been, and that was probably about 4 days ago, and my hair is still straight on top of the weave. I told y'all I have to, like, with the thing about it is it's like my hair, if it starts to, if there's any humidity, anything, it starts to curl up. It'll start curling up, and y'all know that's a terrible sight to see with your hair curled, your real hair curled up on top of some straight weave. Okay, that's embarrassing. But I got it. That pressing comb got it right. It's it's straight. It's still straight. And I'm not using those flat irons anymore. But remember when our mamas used to press our hair? They would press our hair and our hair would stay pressed for like, it would be pressed out real good for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. They didn't have to put the pressing comb on our hair every day. I think my mama would wash and press my hair like every 2 weeks or something like that. Cause see, I wash my hair once a week. My mama always tell me, you washing your hair too much. You know you're not supposed to wash your hair once a week. I wash my hair once a week. My mom always said that you're not supposed to wash your hair once a week. She said it does something. You know how old people are. You washing the life out your hair or something. She said. She said, you know you're supposed to wash your hair once every 2 weeks, but I'm washing it. I'm washing it every week. Trace did us wonders back. Yes. Said it's Saturday night before Easter Sunday. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You already knew you was gonna get your hair pressed the Saturday before Easter Sunday. Since made that Saturday night before. Yeah. I tell you. Hold on, y'all. I saw something else I wanted to talk about. Let me see. Yeah, they still been outside. Oh Lord, I tell you. Uh, hold on, you all. Let me show y'all this. It says 8 people were arrested and 4 pounds of marijuana seized in a police saturation effort I said on a Saturday, in a police saturation effort on a South Memphis street. Memphis police say they executed search warrants Thursday in coordination with the Memphis Safe Task Force and on Boyd Street, an area said is known for persistent gang and drug activities. The individuals were taken into custody. Um, let's see. Y'all, where's Boyd Street at? I've seen that street. Boyd Street. Let me see Boyd Street. I've seen that street. It's near Orleans Street. Vance. Okay, so that's around Tate Street. It's right there off of Vance. I knew I had seen it. Uh, it says Larry Lindsay, 3 counts of possession of controlled substance with intent. Devin, is that Devin? Devendrick. Devondrick. Bowie. Lord Jesus. I wonder if that's Vanessa's cousin. Let me look at him. I know if I see him. Okay. Um I know. Especially when your mama used to put it real close to your scalp. It used to feel like you was getting burnt. I'm telling you. Um Tamara, did you hear about them banning THC? They split it into the bill that was just passed. I hope people know that. So weed is not legal anymore. Oh my God! So they made weed illegal. But they was, but you know what was so weird? They called themselves made weed legal, but they was arresting people for it. They wrong for that because people started saying, when they made weed legal, that means like these young men and women that they've given like 30 years for weed and 35 years, they ain't have no business being in jail. They should have let them all free. They ain't got no damn business giving nobody 35 years for selling no weed anyways. And that man we just showed tried to take that 8-year-old baby. They're going to have him back out on the street. It's something wrong with that. You're giving somebody 30, 35 years for selling weed only because they ain't paying no taxes on it. Understand that. If they paid taxes on drugs, it would be legal, because they selling the doctors prescribing drugs now that really is drugs that they sell on the street. But it's taxes and stuff being paid on it. So the drug dealers don't pay no taxes. So they put a mark on their back, but they'll sit up and go. And I'm not glorifying that. Don't sell drugs. Just say no. Okay. If you selling drugs, stop selling them. But they'll sit up and let a pedophile and a rapist and a killer go free. We ought to be fighting about that. That man that just tried to snatch that 8-year-old girl, ain't nowhere in the world somebody doing 30 years for selling weed or being caught with weed, and they gonna let him right back out as soon as he pay his bond to go and probably unalive a child. Because when they are sexual deviants like that, that's what they do. You got the one that's in jail for being caught with so many pounds of weed for 30 years, wouldn't touch a child. Okay, he'll knock somebody down that'll touch a child, but he doing 30 years and they're gonna let the sexual deviant back out. That's backwards. Okay, I got issues with that. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get off here because I need to clean up a little bit, and then because when my grandbaby get here, we're gonna go to the doggy park and then to the grocery store. Anyways, you guys, I enjoyed being on here with you all this morning. Make sure you all be safe today. I appreciate you all supporting my channel. Good morning, Kenny. I love you all. I'll talk with you later.